Welcome in. Hello, hello. We are in the in Miss Yadi's journaling event today. She was finishing up, and then up after me is a couple of tralalas. Is that who who's up after me? So hopefully you guys can stick around. She is actually on currently. Well, she's finishing up. So our hostess is finishing, which is wonderful. And let me just let them know that I am alive, because evidently they can't find me. Okay, there we go. So, welcome For the Love of Journaling event with Miss Yadi's Workshop and Friends. We are doing Crafter's Choice today, which is super fun because everybody gets to do, you know, maybe things that they're looking for. So I think that was a fun thing to do. And we've had people on all day, so please make sure to go back and watch the replays. You can watch the replays on Yadi's Workshop and Friends. And up after me will be a couple of tralalas, which is Miss Colleen. So please make sure that you stay tuned for her, okay? And let's make sure that I am where I need to be and all of the things, right? So thank you all for being here. I really do appreciate it. Y'all are just awesome. I thank you so much. So I am working on a journal that I did the other day, and it has a hinge on it, so it's a little bit different. Some people may not have seen this style, and so I did do this on a live, and you can find it on my page, but you can also find it on my YouTube as well. And I did this Thursday. So we have that. So hopefully you guys will check it out. If it's something that interests you, maybe you find it's a little bit of a different style for you. So now we'll see how it works out, because it kind of was a little wonky on me. So we're gonna try our best, okay? We're gonna try our best to make it work. Just because it came out kind of weird, but we'll make it work. That's what we crafters do, right? We make things work. So let's get started, friends. Let's get started. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get you all turned down so that you can see so that y'all can see my desk. And there we go. Hi there. Hello, Miss Cynthia. Hello to all of my friends. Yes, a couple of tralala. She is up after me, so I'm excited for that. Okay, thank you so much. Hello there, Miss Maria. Hello there, Amanda. Welcome. So again, this is the journal, and I made it from a box of spoons, because we buy spoons so that we can spoon out the wet food for the cats, the plastic spoons. And this one had a window, so I actually I think I threw the window over here somewhere. Well, anyways, I took the window off and I replaced the window part with some vellum that I had, okay? So it looks kind of creepy. So no, you're fine, dear. You enjoy church. Church is important, so thank you for stopping in. I appreciate that. I really do, because that's I understand. So again, this is a hinge. So I did create this. It is just made out of cardstock, and we're going to get our paper, and it is going to slide on top of this, and we're going to make our sheets. So I do have a few sheets here of different decorative cardstock that I thought would look really good. So we are going to work with these, and what we're going to do is we're essentially going to create like a really large pocket. So that's how it works. So we're going to take it, we're going to cut it down, okay, and we're going to leave an open slit, okay. So we're going to glue our pieces together, and then we're going to leave an open spot to slide into our hinge where it's going to attach, and then that's going to be what moves, okay. So that's how this style works. So instead of sewing, it's done this way, and this is really good, especially if you're trying to do an album that maybe has a lot of moving parts, or where you need sturdier boards. So you might want to have sturdier paper than just your regular type of paper, you know. So that's that. So let's start trying to cut some of these down. We'll see how it goes. And I did bring this in because I want, or I might use my fabric. I want her to be on the inside, okay, and I want her to be in the inside to look kind of creepy looking when you're looking through the journal, you know. But she's just one of the paper dolls, but kind of looking through that through the spider web and stuff, it looks kind of creepy. So we're going with that. So lots of blacks, whites, grays, that's kind of the tone I'm going for, okay? But if you know me, you know that I do not do super creepy. I just can't, okay? That's just me. I don't do the creepy, like very, very creepy, gory, bloody, that, no. I won't do that. Dark is fine, but definitely not doing the other stuff, okay? That's just not in me. So we'll leave her to the side. But that is what I want, and so I need her to be on a lighter background, because if not, you won't see her. Because if I do her with a darker background, then it's a little bit harder to see her, and I still want to be able to see her. So still figuring out how I'll do that. So she's going to the side. But we're going to work on doing some of the pages for here and cutting them down and all of this stuff. So as much as I don't do a whole lot of measuring, this one's going to require me to measure some. So we're going to work on that. Okay? We're definitely going to work on that. And yeah. So okay. Alright, let's get my board out. Hello there, Miss Wendy. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. I know you were on the event today and I missed you. You were right before Miss Yadi. And I missed you. Okay, so the interior part, alright, measures. We're at a little shy of 4 inches, so 3 7/8. So obviously I need to make my pages a little bit shorter than that, and I'm going to write it down because I will forget. Okay, so I'm going to actually do my pages in, at 3 3/4, so that I have a little bit of space here. I could even go to 3 5/8, because that would, you know, give me a good, yeah, I think we're going to do the 3 5/8 just to have a good space here, okay? So I'm just going to write this down. 3 5/8 is what I need this a ways. And then for my length of this, we're going to measure. Aha! Here we go, here we go. So, the length of this box is right at 6 inches. So again, I want to have, well, the way I made my hinge goes straight up, so I'm going to have to do my pages at 6 inches because they're going to have to come right up to the edge. If you do your hinge, preferably, and I glued it down before I did, you want to trim it just a little tiny bit on each end so that it is slightly smaller, so that your pages are just like a 1/4 of an inch, tucked inside. But it is what it is, so we're just gonna make it work. So I need mine to be at 6. So 6 is what I need for them to be. So we're just gonna start cutting. Hello there, Miss Carrie. How are you? I know you guys actually got us started off today. Okay, so I'm measuring, I'm doing my 6 inches, right? And then I need to make sure that this is going to be at 3 and the 5/8 that we talked about. I'm glad to hear that. Okay. So this is my first page, and I'm gonna measure it and see, and it might actually be maybe a little too short. You see that? You see how much gap we have? But we're gonna roll with it because we can always add lace and stuff to make up for the difference, so I'm not worried. This is supposed to be a smaller journal anyways, so we're good. It's not supposed to be like a honking thing. Okay, so without the little white piece, this should be a 6 by 6. So we're gonna cut that off. And I really like this one. This one actually is felted. Hello there, Miss Teresa. Hello, friend. See, I already forgot where I needed to go. This is why I wrote it down, because I know me in my memory, I would have forgotten. So here's my second piece. And then we'll decide how we're going to pair them up, because I'm not sure yet how we're going to pair them up. Okay. Now, I know this side is orange, but the other side is the black, and since we're going to be sticking together, it's going to work just fine. Okay, so again, we have the 6, and then we're going to come in and we're going to cut at the 3 and 5/8. 3 and 5/8. So I have that one. That one is too short, but we'll figure something out. We can always repurpose pieces. Hello there, Miss Tracy Lynn. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Thank you for popping in. I really do appreciate it. We are just cutting down our papers, and I did see, and I wrote it down because I was about to do 4 and 5/8, and it's supposed to be 3 and 5/8. So I'm usually not a measurer, guys. You know this. I normally go by feel, trial, error, however you want to look at it. But for this one, I'm trying to, I have to do the measurements, because if not, it is not going to work for what I have. Okay. And then this one, we are going to trim it down to the 3 and 5/8. So we have one piece. Oh, I was like, what am I feeling? I'm very sensitive to different feels, and I'm like, what am I feeling? Like, I knew the other one was velvet. I didn't realize that this also has something kind of like, it has some kind of texture to it, but my senses were like, oh, what is this? because I'm super sensitive, guys, to like anything. Like if I have it in my head, oh, that's velvet, it's gonna have a texture, that's one thing, you know? So, you're just starting junk journaling. Well, my friend, anything paper related has been my jam since I was very young. So, I absolutely am loving all of it. And it's just, done a little bit different. That's all. It's just slightly different from, what I'm used to. I'm gonna go ahead and trim this paper down just a little bit, just so that I can have it ready. Seeing as I got my board out, I might as well get it down. But it is a lot of fun. I still am not just straight paper. Like, I like to incorporate all kinds of other things to it. Okay. Alright. And I love to repurpose. Kind of like what I did with this and using this this box. So again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I didn't cut enough, but it'll be enough to get us started. Just so that you guys can see what we're doing, okay? So the very first one, because I do want to have my lady, I'm going to do my first one is going to be this page, okay? This is going to be the only exception. Oh, the little golden books are so much fun. So, honestly, doing a altered book is the best way to get started with journaling, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, because you don't have to build the book, okay? And sometimes that might be a problem. Sometimes building the book could be part of the issue, right? So, yeah. All right. So I'm going to pair my papers up. Hello, welcome in there. Welcome in, Miss Michelle. Okay, let's see what else do we have here. So we have this one, this one. All right, let's pair that with that. I kind of like this. No, I like that one with that one. And I actually end up having one extra, which that'll be fine. Let's do this lighter one. We'll do the lighter spiders since this is a lighter paper. So we'll do that, okay? So we're going to start off with these 3. And we're going to start by making the pockets, okay? So I'm going to be gluing. Now, you see how you see how tall my hinge is, right? So I have to make sure that I leave enough space to put this in, okay? Yes, if you guys are here, make sure that you come on your business page, friends, okay? We're here to make sure everybody knows about each other, so it'll be all right. Okay, so we're gonna start and we're just gonna glue, okay? And you can use whichever glue you want. I'm just going to use this the 3-in-1, okay? That's what I'm going to be using, okay? So that is what I'm going to be using. Okay, so there we go. And again, I'm just going to pair it up. And I'm looking because there's one side that has more aging than the other, and I want the aged side to be showing. Now this is where if you wanted to add some extra lace that's coming from the middle of the pages, this is where you would want to add them, okay? This is where you would want to add them. All right. Okay, so we see how we're doing. Yes, it is 3-in-1. That's what I use as well. The 3-in-1 works really good. It doesn't warp your pages, but there are glues like art glitter glue and things of that nature that won't warp your page. Okay. My only beef with those is that I'm usually there squeezing the heck to get a whole lot out. So whenever I have like really large surfaces that I need to cover, I use that. Okay, so I want y'all to see, okay, that I left enough not glued that it's going to slip over that hinge like that, and then I'm going to glue it down when I'm ready. Okay, and so this will be my first page. Does that make sense? Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate the share. How have you been feeling, dear? Okay, let's go with let's get the other two sets of pages that we already have cut ready. Obviously, we'll probably have to end up, I know I'll have to cut more because I don't have enough, right, to cover all of that. So that's, I know that. Again, I'm leaving a good enough space. All right. Like I said, I know I did not do my hinge perfect, but we're rolling with it and we're gonna make it work. And you can find videos on YouTube on how to make the hinge as well, but I did do it on a live so you guys can see that as well. Okay, and I'm just keeping in mind that whatever's down here is going to be towards the bottom and the other part is going to be more visible, so I'm trying to make sure that I'm using it, that I'm putting my papers down in the direction, if they are directional. Okay, you got to pay attention to that. Now, most of the pages that I picked were not directional, so awesome. That is good to hear. Okay, and we're gonna let this dry, but again, I did not glue all the way down, so I have that open space. Okay, so set that to the side, and then let's get these ones glued. These ones really don't matter. They're definitely not directional at all. But yeah, redoing a book is a lot easier than trying to construct a book from scratch. So at the beginning, that is always the way, what I suggest if you're wanting to get into it. You know, doing a smash book, altering a little golden book, altering any book for that matter, works out really well. So we're hiding all the brightness and we're keeping just the dark sides. Yeah, the little golden books are so much fun to do. They're very easy to take apart. Building the spines to them is super easy. I actually have one right here. So this is a little golden book, and I built the spine to it. And I like to keep my books, I keep the full board. Some people fold them where they would normally crease open, but then that requires you cutting the pages, and I don't like cutting the pages. I want to keep them intact. So this way I'm able to keep them at the size that they were printed, because we're trying to, I see it as I'm trying to preserve the book and I'm just adding to it. I do not cut off the ends of the signatures. No, these actually stay together so that I can bind them. so that I can cut them, because the moment you go cutting the signatures, then the question is, how are you going to bind them? How are you going to attach them? And unless you're doing at that point a glue version of then, you know, how are you supposed to get them? So the spine is actually an additional piece that I added, okay? And in this case, I've covered my extra piece of cardboard. I use, sometimes if I have chipboard, I use chipboard. Many times I just use cereal box because it's what I have, or boxes because I have plenty of boxes. And so I make my spine that way, okay? Let me grab a little golden book. Okay, so here's one I just picked up. All right, so this is your little golden book, right? If you heat tool your the ribbon, it pops off very easily, and then you can save it. I have a whole bunch of them saved, because then, let's say like with this one, you know, I can glue it over my sewing, and I still preserve the little golden book ribbon. Sometimes this is so damaged that you can't preserve it, and it is what it is. But in this case, like this one was really good, and if you put your heat tool to it, it will start curling up, like it will start separating from the glue. And then there were 2 staples underneath, okay? So very carefully you come in and you pry open the staples. There's actually a tool that is in the office department, is a staple remover. You can use that, or you could use your craft knife or something of that nature, and you open it up, and then you can pull your boards apart. Let me see. So then you can pull your boards apart. So here's one that I have in progress, okay? And I don't know if you can tell. I don't know, you can tell that there is the piece of board that I used. And I covered this in paper because this is the Nutcracker, so I'm doing it. And she's got a wider spine because I plan to add a lot more to her than I did to this one. Okay, so you see that? So I built the spines to fit whatever I want. But I keep the pages because they're going to pull out. Once you have removed your staples, they will pull out into 2 signatures. See, look, here's a whole bunch of ribbons I have from ones I've taken apart. So once you pull your staples apart and you start very easily and carefully taking the boards off, you throw the staple away because you won't need it. You will be left with 2 signatures like this, where, you know, they are still intact. And so this is the first half of the story, this is the second half of the story, right? And, you know, we're trying to preserve the story in them, hopefully, or at least that's what I try to do. So you are going to want to, now you can add pages in between here, like you can add pages in between here and build the signature up, but you're going to want to keep them together because this tells the first half, this tells the next one, okay? You do have that one. So but yeah, so this one is one that I'll be working on for the, you know, Christmas season and all that. But I do like to keep them together, and keeping them with their signature this way makes it easier for you to then sew them in, okay? For you to sew them in. And I've done plenty of these tutorials, and all of my videos shared to my YouTube, so you can go and see those as well. I know I need to do another one. I have lots of people who ask me to do tutorials on the little golden books. Oops, I'll put those away later. But yeah, I mean, it's easy, it's fun, and it's a great way to preserve those. You love the Nutcracker? It's amazing. And I have some graphic 45 the Nutcracker, so I'm going to be using that paper pad in between. Alright, so I need to ensure that I have glue on both sides. So I'm actually just going to add the glue on the inside of the paper rather than doing it here and hoping I don't make a mess. I mean, I probably will make a mess either way, but just saying. And if you have any questions, you know, that goes for anybody. If you ever have any questions on the journals and things of that nature, you can always send me a message, and I will gladly help you guys out. You know, I don't hoard the info. I like to share it with my friends. I feel like sharing is caring. So, you know, if I figured it out, or if, you know, I made the mistakes, and why not pass that knowledge along, right? So, okay, so now I'm gluing down the part, okay, and we're gonna let that to dry, and we're gonna move on to the next one. Okay, so see, this will be our first one right here. Okay, all right. Let's see. Oh, here's the spider web I wanted. So I want this spider web to face this one. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna put the glue on both sides, and but yeah, I'm always picking up little golden books. One, because I'm always looking for ones that I want to make into journals, and then I also do sell them for those who want to turn them into journals as well. Oops. But it's a lot of fun. Check your thrift stores. There's so many that I remember growing up with. You know, it's sad I can't we don't have the family library anymore, because I would probably have raided that. Thank you. Yeah, so the window was actually part of the original box. So this was a box for spoons, and all I did was I removed the plastic that came with it. I cut a piece of vellum paper, put that down, and then I covered obviously the inside with black paper. So yep, of course. But yeah, if you guys ever have any questions, hey, I'm just a message away. Okay? And I know that some of my pages are going to be all wonky because this hinge was all over the place. It was just, so I'm gonna probably have to do some cutting, or just deal with some of the pages sticking up out of the book, especially since I'm doing them so close to the edge. Now remember, if you are using something like the Beacon or whatever, the 3-in-1 or your Fabri-Tac, please make sure you're doing it in a well ventilated area. They are strong, they do have a smell to them. So just, I always like to remind people that I'm in a nice large room, and we have the door of my area always stays open, and we have fans and all that stuff going, because working with paint and all this stuff, you always want to keep that going. Alright, so we're gonna have to get a few more pieces, obviously. Alright, but I had glue on me. Oh darn it, now I messed this page up. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need 5 more. But this is what it's looking like, okay? So these are the pages for it. Alright, so these are your pages. Okay, so they are a little sturdier. These are great if you want to have like a lot of flip outs. So then at that point you're gonna want your pages to be a little larger and maybe folded. So that's probably what I'll do with some of the other ones, because I do want to add that. And let me add a piece of lace right here to help hold this down. What did I do with, had a whole bunch of black lace. What did I do with it? And I want to go ahead and add her too. Did I take it out of here? That would be my thing. I would try to clean up, and then I needed something. Of course it would be. So I need to see where it is that I'm going to glue her. See, she will fit right nicely right there. So right smack in the middle, and then we can totally like dye the rest, but I wanted the bulk around her to be light colored so that we could see. So I am going to glue her down. And like I said, these are great with the little nozzles, but they require a lot of squeezing, and sometimes my hands don't cooperate as much as I would like. But they are definitely great for the detail work. So I know that, you know, they definitely have their purpose. These types of glues also tend to be an instant hold, which means that once you lay it down, like, you really can't move it. The Beacon 3-in-1 gives you a little bit of movement. You can move it just a tad bit if you do it, like, you know, almost instantly. So alright, let's get her here. Again, I want to make sure that we are, yeah, there we go. So this is where you are going to sit, madame. This is your spot in the book. Yeah, see? That is your spot in the book. That is where you shall sit. And while she is not herself creepy, but looking at her through, so this one is called Glue Basted. This is from Roxanne, but this is like your art glitter glue or your barely glue. I just like the little bottle. So you can either find the art glitter glue. This one is similar. It's like the Bear glue. They all come with the fine tip, so they're really good for doing the details, right? And that's what many times we need, especially when we're adding pieces. Yeah, I know. So I like the little bottle, and you can find smaller bottles. But this is the nozzle from the art glitter glue. But yeah, you can find smaller bottles. That's definitely not a problem at all. All right, let's get us. Oh, I actually just remembered that I had these. I had cut these out on purpose. I I had punched these out on purpose because I wanted to add them to this dark ornaments. So let me actually put I'm gonna wait for those, but yeah, I punched out a bunch of like tabs to add to it. So I have a bunch of these tabs that I was like, oh, those would be really cool in here to kind of like have to flip the pages. I just realized that my bats are all flying down, but you know what, that's fine. They're bats, they fly down anyways. They fly like that anyways, so it is what it is. Alright, I want to switch it up and not have just straight Halloween, so I'm going to actually use this piece in here, which is like an old letter. So we're going to do the measurements again. It is vellum. Yes, ma'am. It is from the Michaels Halloween vellum that they had this year. I actually got it this year. Last year I wanted it and I didn't get it, but I actually got it this year. And super excited that I did. Now this one is directional, so just keep that in mind, which means that if I want it to be this way, I actually need to cut this at the 3 5/8 and then do the 6. So that's the only thing if you have directional, is that you have to, and God, I couldn't tell you how many times I have to look at what I'm working at. So I want it to be like this, so I have to cut here, and now I can flip it and do the 6 inches. Because if I would have done, you know, the 6 and then turned it, then it would have been all wonky. I wasn't trying to do wonky. I mean, I don't mind wonky, but I wasn't trying to do wonky. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I really do. I appreciate the opportunity. And see, now I have 2 pieces, so I'll actually have a second piece to add, maybe in there somewhere. So I have 2 pieces. So that's a good thing. And we need to get us another piece. But let's do the letters, and we'll do the spiders. So we'll do them this ways. Do the letters and we'll add the spiders, so that gives us another one, right? And then again we're gonna do, yep, up next is Miss Colleen with a couple of tra-la-las, and I'm excited. So I know Miss Colleen, and most of you might know Miss Colleen for her amazing painting. Oh my gosh, she is amazing. Let me tell y'all ladies that can paint, and gentlemen that can paint, my hat's down to you. I think that's why I always worked with paper, was because I could never really do the artistic side of like painting or anything, but I can decorate with paper. I can do that. I make stuff look pretty. But painting, that was definitely never my thing. Okay. So and this is why I like using the beacon, because if I have to move it for any reason, if I do it right when I put it down, I still have wiggle room. So I'm so excited to see what she will be doing in the field of journaling, because like I said, you know, when I think of her, I think of her amazing painting. She did this little coffee dispenser the other day. We were in an event together, and oh my god, that it was gorgeous. Like, yeah, she did a snowman on it, and well, I love snowmen, so that might be a little bias on that because I love snowmen, but it was so good. It was a piece that she had thrifted, and oh, just wonderful. Okay, so we're again pushing it all the way down to meet and making sure that it is attached all the way. Now I will suggest, this is scrapbook paper, okay? If you're going to use scrapbook paper, make sure that you pair it up with a good cardstock. So like this piece is a nice decent cardstock, which is why I paired it up. For this type of hinge, for this type of binding, you do not want to use scrapbook on scrapbook paper. It doesn't hold up as well for the turning of the pages, okay? It won't hold up as well for the turning of the pages. Why I said tore, I have no clue. But yeah, for the turning of the pages, it does not do as well. Okay. And I'm just pushing everything down because gotta make sure everything is good and glued. Good and glued. Alright, because this is what you are relying on to hold everything together. Okay. So, again, it's a different form of binding your book. It is called a hinge. Alright. So yes, you can do definitely different styles of binding, not just sewing. Alright. And I hope that maybe you will try it. And if you like it, let me know. But I do have a few more, and I still have a little bit of time, so we're gonna cut some more paper, and I'll end up decorating these at some point. Oh, we could go ahead and decorate a little bit now. So let me get a stencil right quick. We're gonna stencil her. We're gonna stencil her. Let me grab my stencils. Oh yeah, this will look cute. Okay. I think we'll do that one. And I'm gonna grab a palette knife if I can find one. So stay tuned for our friend Miss Colleen from A Couple of Tralalas. She will be up next. So make sure you stay tuned for her. So this is called embossing paste. It is by I think Ranger would have it because it is a Winchi, actually Studio 490. Okay. Pull a knife off, allow to dry. So I don't know why it says embossing, because it's not like, it's like textured paste, but it's black. Okay, that's all it is. It's textured paste and it's black. Because it's not like you have to put heat to it like if you were embossing paper. Okay, so that part might be a bit confusing, but it's not. It just has to air dry, just like you would do with textured paste. You can color your textured paste if you have textured paste. You can color it, obviously do it in a separate bowl, a separate container with maybe a lid, so that if you have any extra left over, you can save it. And all you do is add a little bit of paint, or a drop or two of dye if you have, or like an alcohol ink. You just have to be very careful not to dilute it too much. That's pretty cool, right? I think that looks pretty nifty, coming around her head. And it's gonna have a little bit of texture, so if you do go to touching it or whatever, we'll have that. So pretty cool. That will be, and let's go ahead and do that on a page over here, just so that we can tie in the design. I do like to try and tie in pages, so we'll go ahead and do it on this one, and I'll just let it dry, and then when I go to attach it, I'll attach it. But you can find textured paste, and it's actually not, and you don't, it sometimes can be pricey, but guys, look, you know, you really don't use a whole lot of it. Obviously you scrape off what you can, what you don't use, you scrape off your excess, and it goes back in. So like, this jar has lasted me a long time, and I've barely like touched it, and I love using this for anything that I do that is like dark related. So a lot of my Halloween stuff, gothic stuff gets it. And you can do it on paper, you can do it on cardboard, you can do it on all kinds of stuff, and then you just let this dry. So now that has a texture to it, other than what, you know, you originally had. So it's a great way to alter things. You could think about doing stuff like that on your like music sheets. Of course, you can use stencils to, and I'm just gonna clean this up real quick. You can use stencils with textured paste on any of your crafts, if you use crafts. Hey there, Miss Colleen. I'm excited to see what you're gonna do, my dear. And I know I just dried that. Well, I wetted it, I cleaned it. Let's get this to dry a little bit, because I actually want to put a little bit of this on the inside cover. So I want to put some over here, but I want a different, something else. There we go. I love this stencil, y'all. This is one of my favorite stencils, and guess what? This one came from the food aisle, the food section at the Hobby Lobby. So I might do this, I don't know yet. I don't know if I'm going to do that particular part yet. I might do it on the outside. The outside. We'll do it on the outside. Yeah, the outside will look really cool if I do that there. So we're just going to do this on the inside here. Okay. Oh, no, you're fine, dear. I'm just excited to see you, and I'm excited to see what you're going to be making, sweetie. That's all. So, yay. I'm excited. Welcome in, welcome in. Hello there, Miss Nancy. Hello there, friends. Welcome, guys. Welcome in to our journaling event here in Miss Yadi's group. You can find all of today's replays at Yadi's Workshop and Friends. That is also where she hosts her other crafting events. It is a free group, so make sure that you follow so that you can see all of the amazing things that she has planned, and you can see all the creators. You might find somebody new that you might like. You never know, right? We never know. And then if you want to participate, message her. Ooh, that's gonna look so cool. Let me see if I can pull it up for y'all. So I know it's hard to see right now, but you see the texture there? See if the light will get it. See? And then I can come back because it'll be raised. I can come back and I can buff it, and it will like pop. Yeah. I don't think so. I think I'm good on my side. I hope I'm good on my side. I'm sorry if the connection is giving people issues. So we're just going to do this last little bit, and then we're going to go and see Miss Colleen. She will be closing out our event for today, so make sure that you go and watch her, and I will see you in the comments. Make sure you go back and watch any replays that maybe you missed. I know Saturdays, you know, we have things going on. I have to go do some shopping. Ugh, I hate it. Y'all, the grocery store these days makes me cry. But, you know, gotta go to the grocery store. We gotta get that stuff, you know, gotta get food, gotta feed the cats, gotta feed the kid and the hubby, so, you know, gotta happen. I love shopping if it's for craft supplies. Groceries make me cry because of how expensive everything has gotten. So that's the only, but yeah. Alright, so let's go watch Miss Colleen. I'm just wiping this down since I already had a wipe out. That way I won't have to go and take it to my sink because I've wiped it. And I'll leave all of this out to just air dry, and it'll be ready. I'll just leave it overnight, but it'll be ready in about a few hours. So yeah. And then people just seem to not like to go to the grocery store, so then other people around me are in grumpy moods, and so I don't know. I like going to see all the Christmas stuff that they have now. All the decoration is fun. That I am enjoying. I'm enjoying seeing all the Christmas decor. I love seeing all the Halloween decor and stuff that was out, especially if you go to like Wally World or something like that. But thank you, Miss Yadi, so much for hosting this event and for having me, and as always for putting up with all my crazies. So I really do appreciate you guys for being here. Again, we worked on this box that we turned into a hinge journal, and I will be finishing up the last pages on it here later. Right now it's gonna sit and dry so that my my paste will nice and dry on it, and I won't have smearing. But yes, I am super excited. Please go see Miss Colleen, give her your support, love her, sprinkle her out. Thank you, Miss Wendy, I appreciate it. And come and join me again next time I come live. You can follow me when I do better on my Telegram. I normally let you guys know. So yeah, come and join me in the fun, and I love you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday evening.